Hey friends, Chris Ordonez here, doctor of physical therapy and owner of Functional Flow Pilates, sharing you 4 ways to improve your thoracic spine that you might not be doing in order to get that overhead shoulder range of motion. So if you're dealing with some shoulder discomfort or tightness or restriction with any type of overhead activity, this is for you. And let me tell you why. If your spine here in this high mid back is rounded forward and stuck in this flexion, it's also going to keep your shoulder blades and shoulder joint forward, making it very hard to create shoulder and scapular rotation with that end range overhead work. So let's get to it. Starting in this low collapse kneeling position, it's going to be called your thoracic CARS or controlled articular rotation. And so I'll show it to you in 2 different ways. And we're going to get through all ranges of motion, which is going to be 4 of them. So we're going to get through flexion, rotation, transition to side bend, extension. This is the hardest one because you have to keep your chin with you. And then we're going to go into rotation, side bend, flexion, and return. So it's very deliberate, it's very challenging, and you should be very engaged into your core so you're not engaging that low back. So we want the stomach to hold that low back, but we want our high upper spine to do the movement. Stabilize, mobilize, okay? So here we are. So one hand on your tummy, so your low back is going to be still, and then you can have one hand here for your high upper back, your thoracic spine. So bring your chin in with you. We're going to move just at that upper hand as we round into flexion. And then once you're there, you're going to rotate all the way over to one side, trying to get that sternum all the way over to the other side before you move into that low back. Once you're there in that end range rotation, you're going to drop that shoulder down to get to your end range side bend. You should feel a side body stretch here, equal weight on your hips. So this is where it gets tricky. Keep your chin with you. We're going to slowly start to get back into extension. So your hand is reaching up towards the ceiling without movement in your lower hand, without low back pressure here. So from the top, we're going to do a big rotation all the way over till you can't rotate anymore. We're going to drop into that side bend, flank stretch. We're going to come forward into flexion and all the way back to center. All right, we're going to do it again. We're just going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to change so you can get another visual on it. So bottom hand is stabilized, top hand is going to be mobilizing with that thoracic spine. So here we go, chin with you. Go into flexion, rounding forward as much as you can until right before you get to that low back, and then big rotation over into the opposite direction. Really shine that sternum till you can't anymore. You're going to drop that shoulder down, transition to your end range side bend. Opposite flank stretch. So keep your chin with you. You're going to shine that sternum up to the ceiling. It's usually not as much as we think. Right, sternum up, chin back, and then rotation into the opposite direction until you can't rotate anymore. And then we're going to drop through into that side bend. And then we're going to bring our shoulder forward into flexion. We get all the way back. Woo. All right, so that's your thoracic spine CARS here in a low collapse kneel. We can always progress with using big balls like Swiss balls or weighted medicine balls, but if you don't have that equipment, this is a great option to start. All right, so that's first move. I would have you do that 2 to 3 times each direction. And then your second move, we will be on our elbows on our stomach. So this is Sphinx pose. Great way to open up that high thoracic spine. So always and forever, this chin is back because our neck can collapse. So if you feel the back of your head to the top of your shoulders, your neck is collapsing in the middle of your cervical spine. Not good. All right, so bring it back. Don't let it fool you. You want to drive those elbows down. We're going to go into a cat-cow for our high upper back. So bring your chin down, round your high upper spine up to the ceiling, move those shoulder blades away. Try to round, round, round. Keeping your tummy strong and go right before your thighs come off. And then we're going to pull that stomach forward, pull that sternum forward, shine those collarbones. Keep your chin with you as we go into our high thoracic to cervical extension, but not too much. And then right about there for me. And then we're going to reverse. push away. So now you're going to drive those elbows away as you round that high upper spine, get into that mid back. And then we're going to pull our elbows to us as we hit reverse into extension. Without collapsing to the low back, you're still pulling that sternum forward. Think about deliberately moving through every spinal level, through your neck, and then upper and mid back. Rounding, rounding, rounding from high to mid, and then extending back to the floor and further forward from mid back to high upper back through the neck and last. So we went through about 4 good pass throughs. As you push your elbows away in flexion, pull your elbows to you into extension. So you should feel the space of your sternum coming forward and that space between your shoulder blades pulling further forward. A little squeeze. All right, so that's your Sphinx pose. We're going to apply our active extension into our high upper back with a towel or just a flat surface. So I'm going to just use the flat surface of my hard floors. And then you're just gonna use your hands, or if you need a little bit more assistance, some towels. So we're going to work on dragging our shoulder blades down as we create an upper back extension. So bring your head down, bring your chin back. So we're already in that chin retraction. So your chin retraction stays, your head stays completely still because it goes just with your neck being still. You will bring your vision up, but that's not from your neck looking forward. That's from your high upper spine and your thoracic from extending, okay? So here we are. So chin back, you're in retraction. You're going to slide those blades down your back and then pull those hands to you. Think about widening out your collarbone. Your sternum pulls forward. You want to feel that space between your blades. Pull forward and that sternum reaching forward and then back down. So inhale. Exhale. So this is our swan that you can do on the floor. And so check in that your feet stay to the ground. If your feet are coming up, that is a sign that your low back is helping. So just dial in on that high upper back, doing the work for you, and then repeat. Stomach is holding your low back steady. Lift that high upper spine into extension. It doesn't have to be much. So you could do about 5 of those. And then we're going to finish off with an elevated elbow car. You can grab a chair, you can grab a bench or a box. And I have a box and I'm a big fan of it, but most people don't have a Pilates box and that's okay. So grab a hold of whatever you can. I'm going to bring my bad boy. Woo! Okay, so here you are. Again, it can be a chair, it can be a bench. You're going to put those elbows, palms up right on the edge, and then scoot back. That way your head can just hover off. So we're going to go palms up. So the goal here is when we rotate through our elbows and our shoulders, that we're going to promote that sternum to pull towards the ground at the same time. And while we are moving through our arms, the focus is still trying to promote that high thoracic extension and then your ribs to open up. So here we are. So you're going to flip your palms up. You're going to bend those elbows as much as you can without shrugging into your ears. You want to keep those shoulders down and away. With those elbows completely bent, you're going to turn those palms back up and then reach those hands, palms down back to your surface. And then you're trying to reach that sternum to the ground, promoting more high thoracic extension. And here we go. So palms up, elbow bend, no shrugging, palms away, press it away through your triceps again, trying to limit that shrug. If you have any shoulder pain or pinch-like discomfort, go ahead and modify by lifting up just a little bit higher, and you can repeat and do the exact same thing, right? So you can always find yourself with where you are. And about 5 of these as well, very deliberate, emphasizing your spinal control, your shoulder blade control. You will get a good stretch into your lats if you do these well.
I'm fighting for my life here.
Woo! And there you have it, about 5 reps of each, improving your high thoracic spine, sternum forward to give space for your shoulder blades, will also get you that much closer into having a pain-free overhead shoulder range for all your weights and workouts. And let me know how I can better serve you next time.